cross over to Brody, who is a former New York Assistant Attorney General, to break down this incident more for us. Thanks so much for joining us on the programme, Reid. Tell us about the political consequences that are likely to happen now in the wake of this attack.
Well, I think the political consequences are going to be immense, and I think they can only actually reinforce the momentum of the election in Donald Trump's favor. I think that Trump's raised fist is going to make history. The blood streaking down his cheeks in the shadow of an American flag as he makes Social Security, social service agents, Secret Service agents, wait while he expresses his defiance. I mean, these pictures are all over, and I think they're going to prove iconic. It's difficult to imagine a moment that more fully epitomizes Trump's visceral connection as his supporters shout "USA, USA," and his mastery of the media age. Obviously, anybody surviving an assassination attempt becomes a martyr, and there's a groundswell of public sympathy. We saw when in Brazil, when Jair Bolsonaro survived an assassination attempt in 2018, his polls numbers rose. But in particular, Trump has been the most effective when he's playing, the martyr, the victim. And one of the key messages of his campaign has been that his enemies are trying by all means possible through election fraud, through prosecutions, and now even through assassination attempt to prevent him from being elected. And we see that message. We see Republicans out there blaming the Democrats for this. Biden made a quote yesterday in which he said, "It's time to stop focusing on me and put Trump in the bullseye." And of course, that's being, repeated on social media. J.D. Vance, one of the strong candidates to be Trump's vice president, tweeted that the central premise of the Biden campaign is that Trump must be stopped at all costs. And Vance says that rhetoric led directly to this assassination attempt. So unfortunately, I mean, for those of us who do believe that Donald Trump's return to power would be an existential threat to American democracy, I mean, this is really a triply horrible morning. Horrible because of the assassination attempt, obviously. Horrible because of the proliferation of guns and polarization in our society, and horrible because I think this is really going to shoot his polls number. This is going to really help him in his election campaign.
And what will be the next steps, do you think, in the investigation? How will the FBI now move?
Well, obviously, ultimately, people will certainly want to know why he did this, as your correspondent said. I mean, it's not clear that this was a political motivation. I mean, we don't know. I mean, when the person who tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan did it to impress Jodie Foster, an actress. I think what's going to happen now really is the focus is going to be on the campaign. I also think it is going to help, in a way, Joe Biden in his struggle to remain as the Democratic candidate, because every day this was a soap opera as people came out to call for Biden to step aside. I'm one of those who believe that the Democrats could put up a better candidate, and I think this is going to help Biden because it's going to shift attention elsewhere. For the next few days, we're going to be talking about this. The Republican convention begins this week, and I think it's going to help Biden stay on the ticket, which is also going to help Donald Trump his reelection bid. So this is a very depressing moment in America's history for so many reasons.
Reid, you hinted earlier, just a little earlier on, to some of the polarizing rhetoric that we've heard in this campaign so far and how that could have led to this assassination attempt. Do you feel like in the next few months we're going to see that being toned down a little bit more? Will people have less polarizing rhetoric, do you think?
Well, I hope so. First of all, I don't say myself that the rhetoric was behind this assassination attempt. We just don't know. I mean, these kind of events cannot be written off, though. I mean, violence is infecting and inflecting American politics through the cultural and political polarization. I mean, as I've said, I believe that. And many Americans believe that Donald Trump represents an existential threat to democracy, but many Republicans or Trump supporters believe that as well. The ubiquity of guns, I mean, this is, everybody knows, is an American disease. The radicalizing power of the internet, and we live in such a polarized society in the United States. That I think, unfortunately, this kind of incident it cannot be written off. And if I were a candidate for office, particularly for the presidency, on either side at this point, I would be very scared, unfortunately.
Reid Brody, former New York assistant attorney, thank you so much for your insights and analysis. Thank you so much for joining us on Paris Direct.
Welcome.